Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Did you know you can support the channel by joining? Or join my Patreon? Something to think about. Now onto the stories. Case file number 962, written by Culer O'Connor. Infinite Potato and Cheese Quesadillas. Here I go. My name is Padraig O'Connor, Mexican, 39 male. I have two stories to share. The first one occurred when I was about 7 years old. I was visiting relatives with my parents. I was hungry and my aunt took me to the kitchen. A very small kitchen, by the way. She made me 2 cheese potato quesadillas and then walked away into the living room. I was able to see them all from my chair. They had a very small kitchen. When I finished eating, I turned to my left side to pet the dog. And when I looked back at my plate, I saw 2 quesadillas on my plate, like I never ate them. I was like, what the F? No one else in my kitchen besides the dog and myself. I could see both my parents, my uncle and aunt chatting in the living room. There was no way my aunt could go back to the kitchen, prepare 2 more quesadillas, and serve them to me in mere seconds without me noticing her. Anyways, I ate them both again, now, on purpose. I turned my head looking to the opposite side, looked down to my plate, and again, what do you know? 2 more potato cheese quesadillas on my plate again. I did repeat the process about 4 times, getting 2 every time until they stopped materializing somehow. Until this day, I can't explain it, and when I walked into the living room to tell my parents, they of course did not believe me, and honestly I can't blame them. My second glitch happened not that long ago. I live in Mexico. My mom is from the US. In 2019, I was visiting my mom in San Antonio, Texas. Whenever I visit her, it's for a few months. I do work from home, any home office, so I can do these things. Back to the story. When I am in Texas, I have not much to do. After turning off my computer for the day, I just watch movies or series. I don't remember on whatever streaming platform, because I haven't watched live TV for years. I am almost positive it was Netflix, but anyway, I saw a movie titled Called. I like these kinds of animated movies, but the characters and premise of the story seemed interesting to me, so I watched it. It was around October 2019. Nice, entertaining movie, and in March 2020, I saw an ad announcing that movie with a due date to be released in theaters. I was like, what? I saw this at home months ago last year. Is it the sequel? But the premise and scenes looked exactly the same as what I saw months ago. I went to see it when it came out, and it was just as I remember back in October 2019, more or less. Thinking logically, I thought maybe it was an early on-stream or early release or something, but I remember Disney Plus wasn't available around that time since it was launched in November 2019, and it is a Disney movie, so it couldn't be anywhere else, I think. I thought maybe it was a test trial, maybe, since back then the virus was a huge thing and movie theaters were hit hard. That could explain it? I did research to see if that or any other movie got previous releases on streaming platforms before theaters, which makes sense, but it is a logical possibility that could explain it. So if you or anyone in your audience can explain it, or maybe experience the same thing, I would like to hear about it. Case notes for file 962, Infinite Potato and Cheese Quesadillas. So my first thought was, are these quesadillas that you're eating going inside your stomach? Obviously you swallow them, they're no longer on the plate, but then does a food mass disappear or vanish from your stomach? I guess you probably would have felt that, but maybe not. I mean, those aren't exactly the most filling or expansive kind of food. I could eat quite a few without cheese, of course. Evil cheese, terrible. No! Anyways, does the food mass actually just vanish from your stomach? Dave always wants to fall off. And then reappear as like this mush in a different universe? And in that universe, the copy of you that's eating is just having his quesadillas vanish in different multiple copies. And of course, over there, he's trying to explain to his aunt and his family that my quesadillas, I'm hungry, they're just vanishing. It's not my fault. That would suck. You got the better end if this is what's happening. Now, regarding the movie glitch, I can't comment too much specifically on this one. I don't really watch that many modern movies anymore. Some TV shows, Reacher is really good on Prime, if you haven't seen it. I do recommend that. I did, however, narrate another story a while back about someone who had visions of a TV show that hadn't aired yet. I believe it was Stargate, actually. He knew what it was going to be years before it even aired. So, I mean, obviously before there could be any possibility of early streaming or anything like that. There was no streaming back then in the 90s, but he just knew what was going to happen, as if he watched it ahead of time. In fact, I think it wasn't just a premonition, it was pure foresight. He experienced the whole thing. Like Nicolas Cage in Next. I mean, I keep coming back to that movie because that's a good movie. Very related to potential things that could happen in the buffered reality I think we live in. All that information's there. Just have to access it and enable our mind to process it. That's probably the real issue. The information is all floating out there. Like all the signals that our phones receive, it's all there. It's just encrypted. Our phone needs that specific encryption key to decode it and then use the information. So for some reason, some minds have the ability to decode that information that's just floating everywhere. And in those cases, for specific bits of information, they unlock the world in the future. It's really cool. Case file number 963, written by Bittersweet 0208, The Man Outside of Time. The glitch happens at the end of the story, but the build-up to it was quite strange, so bear with me please. This happened just before Christmas 2019, and I guess it popped into my mind again recently due to it being Christmas season. So in December 2019, I was traveling by train back to my hometown. When I arrived at the train platform, I started walking towards the ticket machines. As I approached, there was an attendant standing by the machines. As soon as he turned and saw me, he loudly said to me, "Well, finally you're here. I've been waiting 30 years for you to show up." I thought that was a very weird thing to say, especially since I was only 21 at the time. At a guess, the attendant was in his 50s. The way he said it was very happy and sincere, not sarcastic or even in a joking tone. Unfortunately, I was very shy and awkward, so I didn't ask what he meant. Wish now that I had. Then he asked if he could help me with anything, so I asked him to help me buy a ticket, as I had never used the ticket machines before. As I was buying the ticket, he kept making really intense eye contact and looking at my face as if he recognized me and was trying to figure out if I was who he thought I was. I had only moved to the area 3 months before and had no family there, so he couldn't have mistaken me for an older relative of mine. I had definitely never seen him before, and it was my first time taking the train. Throughout the interaction, he asked me, "Are you going on another business trip?" Again, I was confused because I was clearly a 21-year-old student, not a businesswoman. I feel I should say he wasn't creepy at all and definitely wasn't hitting on me. He was well-spoken and clearly not intoxicated. So here's the glitch. After I bought my ticket, he picked up my suitcase and walked me to the train, which was very kind of him. I stepped into the train, he placed my suitcase next to me, I turned to thank him, and he was gone. It was like as soon as he let go of my suitcase, he vanished into thin air. There was practically no one else around, so he didn't disappear into a crowd or anything. I glanced all around and couldn't see him anywhere. He definitely did not get on the train with me, and he wasn't anywhere on the platform. If he had to run off, I would have heard his footsteps, and it wasn't enough time for him to disappear from sight, even if he was running. The whole situation felt so strange. Not paranormal exactly, but surreal. Maybe I should mention that even though I was in university, I've never been drunk or tried any mind-altering substances, and wasn't sleep-deprived. I say this because there wasn't any easy explanation, such as me imagining him disappearing. Any theories on what it could have been? He seemed to recognize me, and I think that maybe I was someone from his past. So maybe some kind of time slip. I don't know. Case notes for file 963. The Man Outside of Time. Given that he recognized you, maybe it was the soul of your grandfather? The way he acted was almost as if he was prompting you to go into that direction of being a businesswoman. I don't know, I get that feeling for some reason. Maybe that's where you'll end up. This is like a future push in that direction. But I do believe there is some sort of timeline phenomena going on here. I don't think it was a ghost. I think it was, especially because he carried your briefcase so easily, it feels like it was too real. There was a real manifestation of a person there, even if it wasn't from your timeline. I don't know if it was your grandfather, I don't know if it was someone else, a friend from the future. Maybe even to him, you looked older, and it was just a normal interaction, and he knew you, like you said, I don't think it was a pickup artist trick. Didn't seem very good, especially if he just disappeared right after. That doesn't work well. If you're just gonna run away, yeah, maybe he got nervous. More likely that it was some timeline figure. I think I'm getting pretty hungry right now. Not sure what I should eat. But if you want to fund my many food adventures, then consider joining the channel or Patreon. And of course, if you can't, that's fine. Just like the video, subscribe if you liked it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Dave will see you guys tomorrow too. He keeps wanting to escape, but I won't let him.